down these train tracks, oh, just watching the seasons change on. I've been many places, and I've known many faces, it's true, but they all seem like cages.
PopImpressKA Journal, and we're here with Gabriel and Eli, and those are very talented young musicians, and they are surprising the world with many interesting things, and they just have this CD out, Cry to the Moon, which is fantastic, and guys who just came back from Woodstock.
Yeah! reunion. Yeah, it was the
44th anniversary. Yeah, it was like really powerful for sure.
Now, how did you end up in Woodstock? What brought you there?
How did we get there?
I think it was just part of our travels. We went to Europe and been touring around different festivals, Amsterdam, Portugal, and on our way back there was also another festival that we were booked, and we came out to New York, and couldn't have dreamed what was to come, but yeah, everything's been lining up.
It was a combination of things. Just the guy, we were actually signed up for this other festival, but then it got canceled, and it became this auxiliary outlet of Woodstock. So we ended up in Woodstock.
Very interesting. Now, tell me about your background. I know I met your dad in Hawaii, and a lot of things that I've learned is you're very cautious as a family with the environment. You're also very talented sculptors and artists. Tell me more, how did you grow up, and what parents gave you that influenced you so much to be a good human being?
Yeah, our parents are very multifaceted. Their mother was a belly dancer, and the arts were definitely, we grew up being told the arts were important. So we grew up as artists, basically. And we were exposed to lots of different types of spiritual followings and paths, and they never really, I wouldn't say they said this is true and this is false, but they definitely exposed us to a lot, and they allowed us to make our own decisions on our own.
What made you to play guitars and this wonderful instrument? What is that exactly?
It's a mandolin.
It's a mandolin.
Yeah.
How did you come together and you decided to become a band and actually compose?
We were actually separate for a long time, like, because he was still living in Hawaii with my parents. I've been out on the road for a while, since I was 16, or 18, and so I was kind of doing it on my own, mostly singer-songwriter kind of style, on the streets and bars, or wherever I could play, you know, and then he started coming to school with me, so we were able to join forces, finally at last. It was
the
always
brothers together.
Now, how did you find the guitar?
Guitar? You know, it's a funny thing. Like, my mom plays guitar, and she was actually, at a young age, she wanted to teach me guitar, but I wouldn't have it. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I don't know why. It wasn't my thing. It had to come years later when I kind of started meddling around with it. You know, I found it on my own, and it was just, you know, it was laying around in the house, and it was there. I'm like that. It needs to be my discovery. You can't be told it.
Yeah, he has a special way to learn, you know. He just has an intuitive vibe with it, and it's actually kind of taught me a lot how to approach music. I've, from the beginning, always been really involved into rhythm and melody. I started playing hand drums when I was little, and went to a drum set and picked up the bass, and it's always been really close to my heart, music. And I learned theory and took lessons, but I gotta say, my brother has taught me more than any teacher, because just the way we approach it, it's really from the heart. It's not so much, you know, cognitive, trying to figure out, just surrendering to the muse. You know?
emotional when you write about music?
Yeah, I tend to sing about sensitive.
What is the most strongest emotions you went through when you were writing your songs for this particular CD?
I mean, there's some heartbreak on there. Definitely.
Was it personal?
Yeah, of course.
Did you go through a lot of
Winter
heartbreak?
is about a heartbreak.
It is a lot of heartbreak.
And there's another song about a friend. This isn't me, but I had a friend that lost her brother. Who was, I was really close with. She lost her brother when he was 20 and she was 19. So they were a year apart.
Yeah, it was cancer. It's just really
He got
heavy.
diagnosed at 16.
So young.
Yeah.
And so I was traveling with her while she was mourning. It was very recent. Yeah, I think we're talking about it.
What is, you think, important for you in life? What do you think is the meaning of life to you both?
To give life meaning.
To
give life meaning, really. I mean, everyone has their own personal legend that they're here to fulfill. And I feel like at the center of everyone's being, they're here for a purpose, and you got to invent that. You got to find out who you are, and then offer it to the world, share it with people, and uplift this place because it needs it,
Now, what did you find new about yourself when you were on the road and through your travels that you just finished?
So
much.
We were separate for the most part.
Yeah, we really
We actually weren't even that much together. I was traveling with another musician, Harleen Jana from Amsterdam.
You were performing with her?
And yeah, I was. We were just doing that kind of thing. And yeah, it was really beautiful.
And so who invited you to Amsterdam?
Well, originally, so our Uncle Fantuzi was the one.
Yeah.
We have this uncle who's he's been doing it since.
He's Dutch?
He says he played bot. He's not Dutch.
He's
no.
like a global
Puerto Rican.
citizen.
He grew up in
A
Harlem,
New Yorican,
in
yeah.
this city. This is his hometown.
He's a great brother. Really, really good energy to uplift the crowd.
And yeah, he was playing in Amsterdam originally, and I guess that was last year, the first time we toured through there, and he invited us to come along with him, and he got us a set, and that kind of got things going in Amsterdam.
Now, where were you performing there? Like in what places?
We were playing at this place called Rockhorn, which means, I think they call it the Badlands. It's like it's where there's a lot of squatters, but it's kind of come up, and now there's a lot of festivals that happen there, and it's this really interesting place because it's like this kind of sanctuary of like these really old buildings and trees and nature, but all around it are these huge silos and power plants and tankers, and so it's like this kind of like
juxtaposition for sure.
This is the final output.
The arts and music are really alive there. You can feel it. Like people are ready to create wild things.
How do you think Hawaii and places that you've been to very different from each other? Because I know Hawaii is like a serene island.
Yeah.
And I know behavior is so different.
It's definitely a different world out there. I mean, I was raised on the island, and just being in nature and experiencing the mana there, the cultural values, the community. I mean, I'm really blessed to have been raised there, and I feel like I gotta share that energy in a way, because there's a lot of people that are closed down in the world, and I just feel like over there's a really feeling of an open heart, and at the same time, it's a small island, and I feel like there's a time where we gotta move out into the world, and we gotta share our gifts, and
I love to really into the arts. I needed seasons. I needed the full spectrum. It's easy. It's beautiful, and people are happy. I don't know. I needed to work. I needed to really be part of the world. I felt really isolated there personally.
Do you think artists needs to be hungry in order to create? Do they have to be hungry?
I think you do need some kind of hunger in your life, and maybe it doesn't have to be literal hunger, but you need to kind of be in that place of uneasiness to really create something great.
Yeah, then you have a message, something to write about, something tangible that, as humans, we go through strife and suffering,
and that's something that's relatable. That's something that we all understand, and when you can sing about that, that's something that can occur in someone else can relate to that. See that. Wow, I get you. You're singing that song. And that's what it's all about. There's some quote in this book I read about how the greatest greatest moment for a listener, like the most pleasurable moment is going to be when they see themselves in the music. And that's really what it's all about. You know, I'm just a mirror.
How do you see yourself in music? Both of you. How do you see yourself?
That's a big question for me. I got a lot of different outlets, you know. I mean, playing drums and bass and different instruments in all sorts of kind of bands, you know, and reggae, jazz, or whatever.
Yeah, so he's doing a lot on his own before we got together.
Yeah.
He's been exploring.
And it's been really nice to team up with my brother. It has a place in my heart that's always going to be there, you know, like that connect bonds that can never really break up the brother band.
Now, where did you find each other, like that you want to work together?
I mean, for a long time, like when we were younger, we used to play this kind of guitar, electric guitar and drums, we were doing that. And you know, there's other times it didn't work so well, you know, we were just in different places, like we used to doing different types of projects and we're kind of along my path. But it seems right now we're working together.
Yeah, I mean, kind of was. He got me a mandolin for Christmas or something, and I never played mandolin. Yeah, like I don't know. I never really dug folk music. You see, I was playing. I mean, folk music in the sense of cultural music from around the world. I really do like, but I mean like American folk music, country. Never really was my cup of tea. But I don't know, man. I just kind of was like, okay, let's try it out, and it turns out for me to be really, you know, from the heart and enjoyable.
And you weren't really exposed to it also. Hawaii, there's no folk music in Hawaii.
I mean,
a lot of reggae.
Nah, well, I mean, folk music just means from a culture. So
right,
I was playing ukulele, you know. That's why I wrote my songs.
I love that instrument.
Yeah. I had a really alternative way to do it too. I kind of just inherited the instrument and I strung it up with cello strings actually, and it was just something unique. Of course,
cello strings on ukulele.
Yeah.
How did that come around?
I just invented it. I just was like, I want to try something. Yeah. And actually it was really promising until it got ripped off. I don't know, it got stolen at Folk Life. But yeah, one day I'll get that back again. Maybe
with time.
Yeah. Definitely really, I like to experiment a lot with tunings and frequencies, and I don't know, music for me is much more than just a pastime. It's really about life itself, and there's these kind of universal laws that you can find in music that apply to life.
What do you think people can learn from music?
Oh, so much. I mean, just walking that path.
I think traditionally it's been, you know, it's been a way of telling stories.
Yes.
Before instruments, even, you know, seeing people singing songs as a way to remember their past and their history. I think there's still life lessons embedded in music.
And what is the message of the story that you're trying to tell everybody? Because I know it's folk, it also has that flair, country folk yet. So it kind of even reminded me of Pete Seeger in a way. So I want to know, what is the message that you were trying to tell people?
Yeah, no, I'm really pushing for, you know, that understanding that it's okay to be vulnerable and feel things, and really that genuine kind of state of being is really where, you know, the power in that.
People have feelings.
To disarm people, and not necessarily be so afraid of each other. We're all a big family.
Why do you think the society became so, I would say, harsh or so bitter and towards showing their emotions?
I think it's, people get hurt easily, you know, when you're that vulnerable and your heart's open, you know, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, or someone's intimidated by that, or for whatever reason, you can be injured, but you gotta persevere, you gotta push through that.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our scars, you know, like certain things happen to us in life and we shut down, and really, I think what this music is about is to not close your heart, and no matter what happens in your life, just let it come through and, you know, feel it. Don't be afraid to really go through to the other side of it.
Yeah, when I first started this project, I was really, to me, I wanted to be that voice. And someone's heartbroken or, you know, just going through a hard time, I wanted to be that little voice.
Were you going through a lot of pain at the time?
I mean, yeah, no, I go through it all, you know, and that's what it's about. I go through it, and I know you do. You know, I know that lady walking down the street does. You know, it's, you know, that's where I'm trying to find meaning. you know, I'm going from the inside out. I'm talking about the emotions that we think we're alone in, but by sharing that, you know, people can see that they're not alone. If I'm singing it, they know that they're not alone.
And then why did you choose that genre of folk music to play?
I mean,
because it's not like mainstream, you know, money-making industry.
It's never been about money for me. I mean, at first it started out as my medicine, and then I saw that it was medicine for other people.
Yeah, it took a little while for Gabe to actually bring it out to people. I remember, like, for him, it was kind of like his own way of just being with himself, and, you know, he would be alone and do, you know, express, and then one day he just came out with it, and everybody was like, "Whoa, man! Like, we didn't even know you did that," and it's pretty cool. Like,
do you feel like you're better composing or creating by yourself, or you need a company?
I generally compose by myself. There's been a couple projects, like with Carly and Jana. We actually just put together a single.
What's the name of the single?
It's gonna be this Traces of Rain. I guess is gonna be the name of the project. The song is Oceans and Skies.
Oceans and Skies.
Yes. But
yeah, we recorded some nice ones. There's also the Time Doesn't Stand Still. We're really excited about where it's going these days.
Now, how do you think your family reacts towards you being a musician?
You know, our family, they're
totally supportive.
They really are.
Yeah.
We're lucky for that. I know I have a lot of friends that aren't lucky, and you know they're having to fight their parents every step of the way.
Now, what is success to you as a musician?
You know, that word to me keeps changing. You know, maybe it'll just be at the end of the night, and then maybe it'll just be one person. You know, if one person comes up to me and says, like, I was truly touched, and I know it's true because I'm looking at them when they're saying that, and see it in their eyes, that's success to me.
It's about feeling like I'm completely transparent. Like, I give my all to the people, and in that kind of, I don't know, just releasing the self, there's this feeling of like a transcendence almost, where you get out of your own way and it just becomes, you are the music at that point. And that feeling is, for me, is really what it's about, just like merging with the community, and we're all singing the same song, we're all together, you know?
Now, with the background that you have, what do you think the future will hold towards your future?
Yeah, I think there's actually a couple of different directions that are kind of evolving. I know I'm not going to give up my solo work. There's a lot of strength and there's so much intimacy you can have when it's just one person on stage with an audience. And I do also realize that, you know, having a band scenario with other musicians, there's a lot of strength in that, and it opens a lot of doors, and it offers a lot of room for growth. And so we're talking about a couple different projects that we might talk. We're talking about this Burning Bare Bones project, which may be a little bit more kind of rock alternative,
more different genre.
But
we get pretty dynamic, you know. We can get really low and just intimate, sweet, or just like blow the roof off a place, you know. And I'm really stoked that we're actually pushing those limits and trying to, you know, integrate other styles. And I mean, just in this album that we created, I feel like there's definitely some different. It's folk, but there's also a little gypsy in there. There's you know, there's different to explore.
Yeah. Now, if you would have a choice to work with like musicians that are now out there available, who would it be? Who would you love to be on the same stage as before?
Well, I gotta say, the funnest time I ever had is on stage with my Uncle Tuzi. He just, like, the way he just holds the energy and just inspires everybody. I don't know, I just really just...
What do you think is the key factor when you're on stage to have in order to capture the audience?
Presence.
Presence.
You gotta be right there.
How do you keep it alert at all times? Because there's so many elements going on.
I mean, a lot of it's, you know, really not being afraid of them, making eye contact. I mean, I think the material itself will draw people in, and you know, we're not everybody's cup of tea. You know, there's some people that they won't get it, or they're not going to want to go there. But the people that do want to be there, they're absolutely there with us.
What was your influence from the past that you think that influenced your career so much and being as a musician, as a human being?
It's really interesting. I've been thinking about that a lot. Just about where these roots are coming from. And, a lot of it came from my sculpture, which was very much about, exposing flaws and being vulnerable. And I really did a lot of, I really left my impression in the work. People could see my kind of emotional movement, and that's what's valuable in my music as well. That it's very genuine, it's very real, to be completely honest.
Now, how did you become a sculptor in order to be involved with that process?
Sculpture originally came about because I've been a visual artist for a long time. Well, Dad, my
Both
father.
Both of you, right? And your dad.
Yeah, it's kind of been in the family, but at the same time, you never really. At first, it's kind of like the apple falls from the tree, rolls away, and then rolls back. Yeah. It's like it's in our, blood, and.
Right, but it was different. I needed to find it on my own.
Yeah.
Same thing with the guitar. I was actually more into painting and drawing on that front for a long time. And I was actually even in design for a while. I was going to do industrial design, but I really didn't fit into the corporate kind of product thing.
None of you did.
It wasn't my fault. And I ended up in a sculpture class just kind of by chance. I really fell in love with it.
So, for time to come, what would be your 3 ultimate wishes to proceed in life, to happen to you?
I want to create something meaningful that affects people in an incredibly positive way. That I want to improve people's state of being and heal people who are hurt.
How do you think people can get healed? What do you think is the medicine for them?
I think music and sound has been a healing medicine for thousands of years.
Absolutely.
He's actually the sound healing aspect
of
going into that whole side of medicine, which is a new upcoming field.
I've been working with resonance and harmonics, and I've actually developed a body of music in the style of 5 rhythms. I know it actually originated here in New York. The urban shaman, Gabriel Wolfchild, she brought this method to bring people through a kind of transformative journey with music. And
how do you do that?
Well, what I've done is the music, to compose the music is its own thing, but how you guide people through this journey, there's these 5 rhythms. There's flowing, staccato, chaos, lyrical, and stillness. Mm-hmm. And this kind of acts as an archetypal framework for working through, what's the word?
Because people are so sick sometimes, they are so blocked.
Right. If you're closed, this can really get you into your own body to get those emotions through. And I've only just come out with this music, but it feels really potent. I've got feedback from people that it has really helped shift things, and it's kind of like a guided meditation almost.
Now, where are you traveling to right now from New York? When is your next destination?
Burning Man.
Yeah, we're heading to the
Burning Man.
We're in a couple days.
I can't even believe this. Well, we're playing on the Reverbia stage.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Congrats on that. So now you're together in Seattle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually moved with your brother. You moved with Gabriel.
Yeah, I never thought I was gonna go to college with him, but it's been awesome. Yeah, I love it.
You have a good experience.
It's been a good time for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you guys. All right.
PopImpressKA.
PopImpressKA.
PopImpressKA. Okay, we're ready.
Wondering about the word home. like Sam said, people are always coming and going. When we meet again, no, you'll never. Time don't stand still, no, not no. Time don't stand still, no, not no. Oh, time don't stand still, no, no, no. Oh, time don't stand still, no, not no. I met Lucy Lee. The first thing I saw were those wild moon eyes, silver blue like the newborn sky, the kind of sky that makes you wish you could fly. She didn't say a word at first. She just stood there, stared right on me. Then I saw her crack a grin. Saw her crack a grin. She said, oh, hear it. That little voice is spinning around in your head. I know you can hear it. I've been watching you staring out over those hills long enough, long enough. Little boy, time don't stand still. Nothing more. That little voice is going. Time don't stand still. Why should I? Down these train tracks, oh, just watching